So do you decide on a calendar when it's Mel's day and when it's Ish's day? Or does it just come like organic?
I do take turns between them two, right?
Yeah, is it?
They provide the most entertainment for me.
True. It's because of their response. That's my read.
Or no response.
When you get quiet, he finds that funny because you can't give a right answer. Like Mel will give an answer.
Or Mel. I mean, him or Mel.
It's different though. Mel will give an answer that will that'll set everybody off, right?
Yes.
Whereas Ish won't say anything. You could be like, Ish, is the sun red?
What's good, Elevators? It's your boy Elevation here with another episode of the JBP Elevated, where we speak on the Joe Budden podcast and all of his co-hosts on and off the pod. People are enamored with Ish and Mel, so he has to persistently do things to get them to engage on the pod. That's not weird. And it's even weirder to me that Marc is the one making this quote-unquote assessment. Marc made a statement a couple of pods ago that led me to believe that he has some type of an equity stake deal going on. Because he said with his new deal, you never know with Marc though. He could be, it's all banter, it could be a joke, or it could be serious. Just like him bringing up what's going on with Melyssa and Ish is serious. And normally, this is how they always or are receptive to things whenever they're said in jest. They laugh. Right, Joe's crazy. This is the only way he can do these things. He's toxic, right? The same thing just happened when Joe was asking if anybody else had any topics at the end of the episode. Hell no, I'm ready to get up out of here. Failing another test. No, nigga. This is weird that I have to do these things to get y'all to interact with us. We had a whole segment on Ish talking about his resting Ish face. Talking about when he's asked questions he can't answer. So instead of allowing you to just go mute for periods out of the time or out of the pod, I have to find a way to make this funny. And Melyssa, I was just giving her praise because she does come up with topics, but unless it's a gender topic, you won't hear Melyssa say a peep. You'll literally see Melyssa sit on the couch for hours on end, just looking around, nodding her head like she's paying attention. But Melyssa, you get paid to speak. Why aren't you interjecting? So it's weird that I have to do these things in order for y'all to participate. And as much as we talk about how Ice is a terrible podder, one thing Ice isn't is a terrible, or his body language tells me everything that I need to know. His body language lets me know how much tension is going on at the pod. And whenever Joe asks these questions, there's a little twitch that his head does and this little smirk that comes on his face because he knows what's going on. Yeah, they entertain me the most. No, they entertain us the most. And they don't have to do anything to go viral. Marc and Flip are good at going viral. They do things that make them go viral. They say things that make them go viral. People in the audience talk about Melyssa just to talk about Melyssa. I still see people in the audience talk about Ish just to talk about Ish. People were in the Patreon comments getting hyped because Ish was loosening up for holding Imani's hand. All of these narratives and all of these tactics that Joe is employing, they would cease immediately if y'all stop playing into the narratives. It's funny how often they bring up the narratives that we, the audience, create as if we're just coming at it or up with these things out of thin air. No, guys, we're going based off of what y'all are displaying. So if y'all changed how y'all acted on the pod, if y'all changed how receptive y'all were to things on the pod, these narratives wouldn't exist. Ish, if your face wasn't resting all the time, we wouldn't even call it resting Ish face. There wouldn't even be such a term. And because you're so polarizing without really having to do anything, people notice it more, it stands out more. Melyssa, Joe wouldn't constantly speak on your sexual proclivities if you were quote-unquote entertaining outside of your beauty and outside of being known as a video vixen. You still, for the amount of time that you've been on here, there's still not things that you do outside that interest us as the audience. That's saying something. And Ish probably does a plethora of things that would interest us, but because he hates us, he's never going to open up. Ish won't participate in anything. No pod wives. This BTS is a waste of my time. Everything is a waste of time to Ish. So in order for him to get any interactions, Joe has to hit that competitive side of him. That's why Joe is constantly speaking competitively to Ish, especially if he goes quiet. Pay attention to that going forward. Joe won't poke at his competitive side if he's in the midst of something serious. Actually, yes, he does. But it's noticeably more so whenever Ish just goes on his 10 to 15 minute quiet tour. And you gotta pay attention to Melyssa. Melyssa will sit there hours on end on her phone. I remember very vividly because it just happened a couple of pods ago. Joe took her phone away. Give me your phone for the duration of the pod. You can't be on it. What? And I saw a couple of comments. People were like, wow, you can't do that. He's going overboard. No, it's because if you run it back and you look at the serious topics where it's not gender-based, Melyssa will be on that phone. She might as well be scrolling right on cam. La, 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 la. But then she'll put on her glasses as if she needs her reading glasses every time she has to read. No, I know you can see that shit because you be on your phone 24/7 on the pod. Flip be on his phone too. The one person that I don't just see scrolling through their phone all the time is Ice. Maybe if Joe rearranged the camera seating, it would be better. But he can't because Marc needs to be on the main cam. I don't know. It's getting tiring at this point. The fact that this is even a thing. Ish and Mel are the oldest on the pod. Yet the naivety or the naivete that sits with them is ridiculous. It's like they can't see what everyone else in the room sees. Every time you tell Flip something, it doesn't matter if the vast majority of the world agrees with everything that everyone else is saying. If he's against it, it's not true. And then Melyssa, she won't even answer a question. Marc got on her today for not answering a simple ass question. You'll talk in circles to a yes and no question, but when we're asking you something directly, you don't have nothing to say. So yes, I'm going to keep poking and prodding. I'm going to keep doing the stupid shit to get the engagement from my audience because y'all aren't giving me the engagement verbally how I expected. And because y'all aren't trying to branch off in any other aspect, y'all are mainly known for the pod still, even though both of y'all are semi-famous in your own rights. I'm still having to do this stupid shit to play off of your name because your name has credence. So it's just a big cycle, and they are the ones that have the key to stopping the cycle, but they won't. It's like they don't care. But I'm paying attention to Marc being the one pointing this out. Marc pointing out a lot of how all of the co-hosts act. I would pay attention to that because it's already bad enough that Marc has moved into every show and is a main focal point in every show. And of course they're saying it in jest on the Ian and Marc show that he's the lieutenant and he lost it, quote unquote. But that's because the rest of the co-hosts were feeling away. Hey, we got to take the title away. But you're still my eyes and ears out here, sir. Still my eyes and ears. So if I'm Ish, if I'm Mel, and I want to stop that, I work on my potting. But if I'm Ish and Mel and it doesn't bother me, then they're just going to keep stealing the check. Because now we're getting to contract talks and contract games. And instead of being belligerent, instead of raising my voice, you don't want to pay me what I feel I'm worth. I'm just going to do my deductions from the show. I'm not going to contribute as much. I'm not going to be as affable. I'm not going to be as jovial. And you'll have to figure it out because you're not trying to look bad. You're not trying to fire anyone. The next time the pod shifts, it's going to be because somebody left. It's not going to be because Joe fired somebody. Once that happens, then Joe will be able to fire at will again. It's a play. Hey, I appreciate y'all though. Like the video if you like the video. Subscribe to the page if you haven't. If you have, you already know how we rock it. Hey, just gonna be honest. Got 2 Patreon uploads up there. Y'all running them numbers up. Hey, it's a very humbling feeling when I'm telling y'all don't pay just come over, let's engage, let's build a community. And I still have multiple people that paid for a paid tier. Like, I don't even know what to say. I'm speechless. But thank you. Y'all keep running the numbers up on YouTube. We're just gonna keep the multiple drops. I keep asking for content, and here I am turning into a legitimate content creator, speaking on the lack of content. If I can do that, why can't y'all? Anyway, y'all be safe out here. I'll see y'all tomorrow. Peace.